They said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer." Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits, and we will see what will become of his dreams.
Well, I gotta wipe the bally on that one, but whoa.
I said, what? He pushed baby jewelry? Now I know Jasmine got jewelry.
Had jewelry.
Yeah, had. I jumped in my car back then. I had a 1975 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, 2-door, black with burgundy interior, lifted in the back, 18 inches off the ground. I drove back to that house and I saw Maria Melendez. I said, "Where's your son at?" Because today he's dying. I'm telling you now, he's gonna die. "Oh, stop your bullshit! Stop fucking around here! Yeah. You always talking little stupid shit." I said, "All that brujeria that you're doing, them egg drops and Santeria and all this other stuff. Today he's gonna meet the piper, and I'm gonna be the piper." He sold my jacket, and he stole Jasmine's jewelry, and he sold it to somebody I know. That's a drug dealer down the road. She said, "You don't know what the fuck you talking about. You always talking shit. You always doing this shit." I said, "Okay." I went looking for him. Couldn't find him. He was gone for 2 weeks. I couldn't find him. Wherever the fuck he was at, I don't know. But he stood hiding for 2 weeks. On that third week, my sister calls me up. She says, "Jay, Victor's looking for you." "Where he at?" She says, "He's in the house." "All right, I'll be there in a moment." Drove from where I was living at, went down there. I told him, "Come to the park. I'm not going to meet you at the house. Tell him to meet me down the block at the park."
Yeah.
Down the road, on Gun Hill Road, there was a park right on top of the Cross Bronx Expressway. The wife in the background saying, "Nothing good happens in the park." And she's right. Victor walked up and he goes, "What the fuck you want me to meet you in the park for? What you fucking couldn't tell me?" Now, of course, I'm like, "Okay, you're talking to me like I'm somebody from the
Reckless.
Reckless. I'm going to talk to you like somebody in the streets as well."
Yeah.
I said, "Mother effer, let me tell you something. Did you steal Jasmine's jewelry to get high?" Why the fuck would I do that? I'm not no fucking nigga. I'm not stupid like that." "Okay. Did you steal my jacket and sold my trench coat? The one that was hanging in Jasmine's closet?" He said, "Why the fuck do you keep thinking I'm taking your bullshit shit? Your shit ain't worth nothing." "My shit ain't worth nothing. You remember when you fucking robbed the damn the jewelry store with my gun? And you almost got me locked up for stealing my gun, right?" "Oh, that was a long time ago. Why you keep bringing that shit up?" I said, "Because that's the same gun that I'm going to fucking kill you with." "Why are you talking to me like that for?" I said, "I told you, you don't touch my shit. You don't touch Jasmine's shit. You don't touch Doty's shit. You keep taking shit from people that you're not supposed to take from." "Oh, I don't give a shit about you. What you going to do?" "Victor, I'm going to give you one last chance to tell me the truth. Did you take their stuff? Because I'm not going to do nothing to you if you didn't take it. But I want you to tell me the truth." "I ain't going to tell you shit." "Victor, for the last time, please tell me if you took it or not." He kept mouthing off. I said, "This the last time. I'm not going to tell you no more." Now, this time I'm already reaching in. Off his shoulder, I see my sister walking up. Now, of course, I got to scale back. My sister walks up to me and she goes, "JJ, leave him alone." I looked at my sister and I said, "Why? He's done enough already." "Why?" "Because that's my brother." "But he's not my brother. So why should I give a shit?" "But I'm your sister. And I want you to do this for me." "Okay." So I had to back off because that was my sister. So the power of love is deep when you really think about it. Even if it's somebody that's not your blood. Fast forward several years later, Victor's still doing his dumb shit. And of course, I'm still doing my dumb shit. Like I said, I was no saint. And like I said, the piper has to pay the price, right? But many people don't understand this about me. I've been incarcerated. I did a 363. And most people don't understand 364, 365 means to do a whole year and some. I did a 363. The reason why I did a 363 was because I was driving without a license for so many years that they finally got tired of saying, we're going to lock you up for it. So I'm not no hard criminal for the things that I have done that would stay nameless. Or as they say, I would deny, nor would I testify to anything that I have done. With this, I had to pay the price. So I look at it this way. For all the bad I've done, I'm going to have to take this one. I'm going to have to wear this one on the chin. So during this time, of course, my kids have gotten older. Of course, I've had 2 more girls with their mama. And I have 3 girls altogether. And the worst thing is, and I understand why. I really do. When a guy is locked up, the first thing he always asks his loved ones, whether it's girlfriend, kids, whatever, come visit me. When I was there, I thought the same thing is needed. But as I was there, I started realizing that's not what's right. Because you're inviting them into a lifestyle that they shouldn't see without them making that choice. So it took me a while to learn it. I mean, I write letters and ask them to come visit me, put them on the guest list, whatever they call that stupid shit back then, the visitors list. Mm-hmm. And of course, I get very angry because they didn't come visit me. And of course, it started affecting me until I met this one guy while I was locked up. He had turned around and said, Jay, listen, would you like for another man to put his hands up inside your daughter just to find out if she's hiding something? I said, hell fucking no, I'll kill that bastard. He says, then why would you want your daughter to come here so they can check her out just to see if she's actually bringing anything in?
Ooh, good point.
That stuck with me. That stuck with me hard. And I said, damn, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I stopped writing. Stopped writing to them, stopped telling them to come visit me, everything. Mother then turned around, she wrote to me and she said, you will never see your girls again. I said, there's nothing I can do about that. That's your choice. The only thing I do ask is that you tell them why I'm here. You let them know why I'm here. You let them know what stupid shit I did that led me here. At least then when they get older, they can make a decision whether they want to talk to me or not.
Correct.
She did the complete opposite. I haven't spoken to, well, let me rephrase this. My oldest daughter, damn, love, how old is Shadia? Okay, so that makes Stacy what, 32? 32 then. Yeah. I'll explain why I'm not good with numbers in a moment. My oldest daughter is 32. Her 2 sisters are between the ages of 27 and 26. So none of them talk to me. I just spoke to Stacy maybe a year and a half ago via Facebook Messenger. And she sent me a video crying because I sent her a video thanking her for what she's done and telling her that she has a beautiful granddaughter. Because, you know, she's my granddaughter.
Absolutely.
Right? And I said to her, I don't want you to look at me as your father or your dad. You can look at me as your sperm donor. I don't mind because I know I wasn't there for you. What I do ask is that you never forget the sacrifices I've done for you. That is what I want you to remember. That is the example that I want you to hold on to when you pick the guy to be involved with. Now, she wrote back to me. She sent me this video that she's just straight bawling. I haven't spoken to her since. Now, I'm gonna put a funny in there because like I said before, I like people to laugh.
Yes.
Just because they hear my bad
This
stuff.
is a ride. This is a ride.
There was a time that I met my daughter's boyfriend when she was living in the projects. Yes, my daughter was living in the projects. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She's living in the projects. That's what she chose. That's what she chose. And I met the guy she was involved with. My daughter turns around and said, I want to introduce you to him. I said, okay. When I went to my daughter's house, or apartment rather, I didn't even want to sit on the couch because it was all dirty. My best friend, who also passed away, his name was Troy. Troy was my best friend. We were best friends for 29 years. He passed away. When I took him to my daughter's apartment, I said, Troy, we got to paint this apartment. He says, yeah, but she lives in the project. They won't let us come and paint it. I said, I don't give a shit. We got to paint this apartment. So during that time, I visited my daughter. I said, why is it that you got a man in your life and he comes here at this nasty ass house? The oil was so caked up on the stove that I didn't even want her cooking for me. Her glassware, her cupware, I didn't even want her giving me a cup of soda. Even now, she'll tell everybody, my dad don't like cold soda. He drinks warm soda, which is true. I do drink warm soda.
Okay.
But I didn't want anything out of her refrigerator, nor I wanted anything out of her house because it was so nasty. I mean, it was very nasty. Okay, that I was ashamed to even say that she was my daughter. So the one day she called me up and she told me to come meet the guy, and I went to go meet the guy. And I asked the guy, I said, how is it possible that you got the nerve to fuck my daughter in this dirty ass apartment? I mean, he said, bro, you gonna talk to me like that? I said, first of all, I ain't your bro. Second of all, I'm her father, dad, aka sperm donor, whichever way she wants to call me.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, is just another piece of shit, like me, that I would do to you, like I've done to many other people without blinking an eye. He said, bro, I said, don't call me bro. First of all, I'm twice your age. Don't call me bro. And I'm asking you a very simplified question again. How dare you come into this apartment and fuck my daughter in this nasty apartment and turn around and say that you care about her? Now, this is where a lot of people look at me and say, Jay, you got no damn
filter.
Yes, no filter. You just speak. And I said, that's because that's the only way I know how to be. I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. It's hard for me to sugarcoat things when I see things. It's hard for me to understand why people do things the wrong way, even at all the wrong I've done. And again, time to pay the piper, and I paid the piper.
Correct. Accountability.
Right, accountability. My daughter looked at me and says, Dad, stop talking like that. I'm not no hoe. I said, no, yes, you are a hoe. You are a hoe. And he is a hoe seeker. She said, Dad, how can you talk to me like that? I said, let me ask you a simplified question. When you fuck him and you suck his dick, do you actually enjoy it, or are you looking for something in return? She goes, no, I enjoy it. I said, so you're a free hoe. You ain't looking to get any kind of money. He don't even want to bring in a freaking roll of toilet paper. I said, so how you sticking your dick in her mouth and don't even bring a roll of toilet paper? So that means you got a dirty dick. So you fucking her with a dirty dick. Yo, how can you be talking? How else do you want to understand this? Because if I don't talk to you raw like this, you're going to think I'm bullshitting you.
Yeah. It's not that, you are.
Exactly.
So it's in a sense, you are.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that point up. Right? Now, not saying that you did this. I'm going to say you heard people do this. When you go to a club or you go meet a girl, don't you buy things for the girl? What is the ultimate goal to do with that girl?
And that's just what, as men, we call that another form of paying for pussy.
Okay, so when you pay for pussy, what are you doing? Trying to fuck. Exactly. So if you meet a hook in the street and you meet a hoe, what do you do with the hoe?
You pay for you pay for the pussy.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I told my daughter. And she looked at me and said, Dad, you cannot talk to me like that. I said, yes, I can. Because I talked to you the nice way, you didn't want to listen to me. I tried to explain to you things the nice way, you didn't want to listen to me. I tried to explain it to you in ways that you could understand it, she still chose to go the other way. Now you got this dude in front of me, and you try and tell me this is the dude that you want to be with, and he doesn't have the decency to bring a damn roll of toilet paper in the house. Now, this is where things get ugly. Like I said, I have to pay the piper for the things I've done. This boy thought he can man up to me because he had hair on his balls. And I say like this, just because you got hair on your balls don't mean that you're the baddest mother summer gump in the street.
Correct.
He stood up and put both his hands on the table and stood up like a silverback, stood straight up, stuck his chest out. So you ain't gonna talk to me like that in this house. I said, Stacy, if you don't calm this little son of a bitch ass down, I will. And she just looked at him and she said, please sit down. He turned around, he said, bitch, you ain't gonna tell me to sit down. So even as I know my daughter's a bitch, even though I know my daughter's a hoe, that doesn't give you the right to desecrate her in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed him by the neck and stuck his ass out the window. 15 stories up, stuck his ass outside the window. And I said, I don't want you to apologize. I want you to think about what the next 10 seconds is going to do in your life. Because all it's going to take is 10 seconds from now on to get tired and let you go.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to hold on, and I was smashing his hands on the window sill. No, you got 10 seconds. You figure out what you're going to do in 10 seconds. I'm leaving. I ain't never coming back. Ah, good answer. Dragged his ass in the house. Right in back in the window. Grabbed his shit, walked out the door. My daughter looked at me, she said, Dad, how dare you do that? I said, the same way I smacked you in your mouth and bust your mouth when you was 21 years old on your 21st birthday in front of all your friends, is the same way I'll kick anybody's ass that disrespects you in front of me. You can't disrespect me. Nobody can disrespect me, nor will I allow anyone to disrespect you. Because if I don't disrespect you like that, nobody else should. I'll beat the shit out of you, but I won't call you out your face. I'll call you a hoe because you are a hoe. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
And when I told she's a hoe, and I'm be honest, my daughter messed around with a dude and the dude's father at the same time. She's a hoe. There's no denying. I look, like I said.
Hey,
the truth is the truth. And
you're not the first, you won't be the last, sweetheart.
Exactly. So I told her, I said, I could only call you what you are. So don't be mad at me. So of course, now we fast forward, like I said, none of my girls won't talk to me because of what I did. Now, this is where it really gets down to the meat on the bones about my lifestyle and my life story. 2001, I had a car accident. 2001, a guy thought that I was messing around with his wife at the pool hall that I used to hang out at. The guy turned around and punctured one of the tires on my car. I had a Honda, I had a 1999 Honda Accord, and he punctured the tire because he wanted me to stop in the middle of the highway so we can get into it. So instead of doing that, he ran me over. He dragged me 275 feet in one direction, dragged me back 75 feet in the opposite direction. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this part of my story is because this is the reason why I have gaps in my memory, why numbers don't work well in my head, and why a lot of information is just straight blank. And I could only remember certain things in my life. I was put into a coma, not induced coma. I was in a coma, put there because, of course, after he dragged me, the police officer came to the scene. Now, if anybody knows anything about accidents, when they take out a white blanket and put it over anything, it's because they're trying to hide the dead body. I was listed, guaranteed, 100% dead on the scene, 2001. During that time, this is where now it comes back to a small conversation you and I had about spirituality. Many people won't believe this part. Many people will.
Yes, sir.
At that point, I felt myself looking around. What the fuck happened here? I saw this white sheet across the front of the van, and I see the cop standing there writing on his pad. I walked up to the cop. I'm like, dude, what happened? What's going on? He didn't answer me. I'm like, why you ain't? I said, why is this motherfucker not listening to me? I went to tap him, and I feel myself tapping him, but his shoulder's not moving. And I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, tell me, I'm being nosy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I look to my left, and my Honda Accord, which was a 4-door. If anybody remembers what Honda Accord 4-doors looked like back in the day? That joker was mushed. The back end of the bumper was touching the headrest of the driver's side car. That's how much it was smashed.
Damn.
And it was teeter-tottering on the divider to fall into the riverbank. That's how hard the dude hit. When I looked at the van, I saw myself laying under the van in a fetal position. Right? Now, many people say, yeah, that shit didn't happen. Okay.
Cap.
You can believe what you want to believe. I can tell you, I know. I was there. I lived it.
They call out-of-body experiences.
Exactly. I had an out-of-body experience. Now, how I know I was classified dead? Because when I said, no, God, this cannot be. This cannot be my time right now. This cannot be my time now. I got too much shit to go through. And I've gone through a lot of shit. Next thing I know, I tapped the cop's foot. Cop jumped back, and I heard on the radio, he alive, send everybody. Now the cop turned around and wrapped up the blanket and shoved it in my face. He said, don't say nothing, just stay quiet, just don't say nothing. And I'm bleeding. And I'm holding it like this. Now, I'm not sure if y'all can see this. There's a scar on my upper left shoulder. Right? That's the shoulder that I was dragged on the ground with. Right? Paramedics came to the scene. Now, this is what I remember. This is where all the fun, like I said, I like to make jokes about what happened in my life. Paramedics showed up, and I'm in a fetal position. And they dragged me out. They did what they had to do. Fire department, whatever. I turned around and told the paramedic, and matter of fact, his name was your name. Just for shits and giggles. And I said, whatever you do, don't cut my clothes off. Because we all know they have to cut your clothes off.
They have to cut the clothes off.
They have to. I begged them, don't cut my clothes off. He says, I got you. I said, no, I shitted on myself. I got shit running up and down my back. I got shit running up my legs. I don't want you to smell my shit. So don't cut the clothes off. He says, we're past that already. I got to see what's wrong with you. When he started cutting, I started crying because I was embarrassed. Not the fact that I was alive, I was embarrassed.
Out of all things to go through your mind, this is what's going through your mind.
So now we're laughing because I keep saying, oh, shit. You really going to see my shit now. Cops laughing, the paramedics laughing, the fire department's laughing. Now they try to stretch me out. Like I said, time to pay the piper. The most excruciating pain that I endured was at that moment. Trying to straighten out my body because I was in rigor mortis already. So everything was already tight, dead, stopped. So to try to pry it open was almost impossible. Now, mind you, I only had a half a pint of blood left inside my body. And how I know it was a half a pint of blood? Because the paramedic had called it in and said he needs a blood transfusion. He's lost a lot of blood. Now, again, here's where the funny comes in. I said this before in my lives, and I said it before joking around, but I'm very serious. I have a control issue. Even the wife is in the background saying, "Yes, Lord, he's control freak."
Tell it to be quiet. Nah, no point.
I turned around and told the paramedic what hospital to take me to. He said, "No, we can't take you there." I said, "If you don't take me there, I'm going to get off this bed and I'm going to drive myself there." He said, "Are you kidding me? You barely alive. Would you just let us take care of you?" I said, "You have to take me to this hospital." So they said, "Okay, fine." This is where it gets funny. They didn't know how to get to the hospital. I can hear them on dispatch. Which direction is the hospital at? UMD&J, Newark, New Jersey at the time, was the only trauma hospital that was closest to where I had the accident. I had to tell them how to get there. The last thing I remembered was looking at the emergency sign above the door. That's it. I was out.
Once arrival.
Yes.
On arrival.
On arrival. That's the last thing I remember. 2 months later, I opened one eye.
2 months later.
2 months later.
Coma.
Yep. Open one eye. Nurse walks up to me and she says, "Oh, you finally awake." I said, "Yeah, what's going on? Why can't I feel my body? What's going on?" She goes, "You was in a very bad accident." I said, "Okay, why can't I feel my body? What did you cut off? Because if I can't feel it, it means you cut it off. And I need to know what you cut off, because I need to know." She said, "Well, fortunately, we didn't cut anything off, but you are wrapped up." I got one eye going like this, blinking. "What you mean I'm wrapped up?" She says, "You've been in a coma for the longest time of 2 months. And we're glad you're awake now because we have some questions for you." I said, "What God-forsaken questions you got for me? I mean, God, don't you know everything about it?" She said, "We don't know nothing about you. We don't even know your name." I said, "What you mean you don't know my name?" She says, "Everything in the car that you had the accident with burnt." I'm like, "But I saw my car." She said, "Well, whatever you saw was right before it went on fire." Okay. She said, "The information you gave us dates back to 1975. What? Your phone number that you gave us dates back to 1975. The address you gave us dates back to 1975. The people who you mentioned date back to 1975. So we have no way of letting anybody know that you're alive. You were certified dead on arrival. You was at the coroner's office with a toe tag. But for some reason, you felt the need to breathe again. So we had to rush you back upstairs. But you told me I'm wrapped." "Yeah, because we have to wrap you in order for your blood to stay in your body. And we had to wrap you so that your bones can heal. And we had you wrapped so you don't move because you kept trying to move when we was taking you out of the coroner's office." I'm like, "You playing with me. Stop playing around." She said, "If you can see down the leg, you'd be all right." And I'm trying to look, couldn't even look. I couldn't see nothing. So she said, "We need to know what your name is. We need a phone number for you to let us know." I gave her one phone number. I said, "The only phone number I can think of right now is this phone number." And she said, "Who's that phone number?" I said, "It's my barber, Edwin." She said, "Okay, we're going to give him a call." Edwin came to the hospital a couple of days later. And unfortunately, he came to what they call that, to justify or to clarify who I was, rather.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, his name is Jay. His first name is Josie. I think his last name is Garcia. I'm his barber. I've been his barber for the past 10 years. That nurse looked at me and she looked at him and says, "His memory's not there anymore. You're the only one he can remember." And I felt bad because the last thing I remember about him was that his wife was pregnant. And I saw him at the doorway and I was trying to smile, but of course I'm covered and I'm blinking. and like, don't let your wife in the room because I think she's still pregnant. He said, no, she gave birth a long time ago.
Man.
I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, she gave birth to a baby boy. I got a baby boy now. I said, you playing with me? No, stop playing with me. This can't be true. No. He says, Jay, you wrapped up like a mummy. Fingers all the way down to my feet. I thought he was joking. I didn't believe it. So a lot of gaps in my mind right now are gone. A lot of situations are gone in my life. That's why I could only speak of things I can remember.
Yeah.
Pieces, right? The bad thing is a lot of it is trauma related, and that's what I don't like, because it's a lot of the trauma that I don't want to remember. I was trying to remember a lot of the good times, like, you know, like I said, the jumping off the roofs, the playing in the backyards, jumping off the school buses, and things of that nature. But I don't really want to remember a lot of the trauma stuff, and unfortunately, a lot of the trauma stuff is still in my mind. So now, of course, we fast forward a couple of months, and now I go into rehabilitation, right? Now I have to learn how to walk, how to use my extremities all over again, how to think, how to write, how to eat, all this. So at the time, the very good thing was that a lot of the cops knew me, right? So a lot of the cops said, you know what, we're going to look out for you. A lot of them came and visited me. They found me a good lawyer. They wind up charging the guy that hit me with manslaughter because I was what they call it, certified dead at the scene. They classified me dead at the scene and again at the hospital. So they charged me with murder. The lawyer turned around and said, listen, I'm going to work on your case. We're going to do whatever we got to do to get you back to where you got to get to. I said, I'll accept any help that I can get. So when they say help comes in many forms, just embrace it. Take the help, do what you can with it, and keep moving forward. All right, enough, because now you're biting me. I mean, my puppies are biting me. Stop. Okay. My apologies for that. The puppies are getting excited.
You're good. You're good.
Keep me happy. You know, one or two, but when they see me angry, they try to keep me happy.
Yeah.
So the lawyer said, Jay, we're going to do whatever we can to get you better. I said, all right, cool. And again, like I said, this is where all the funny stuff comes in. They sent me to a rehabilitation home. And they said to me, you have to learn how to walk again. I said, fine, no problem. I'll learn how to walk again. Turned around, they stuck me in a wheelchair. Not a good thing. I turned around and said, how long will I be in this wheelchair? They said, unfortunately, based off of the medical reasoning that we found that happened to your spine, you will never walk again. What? Did y'all get the right check? Y'all sure you got the right Josie Garcia? Because, you know, my name is very common.
Yeah.
Don't. They're like, no, Jay, we looking at your reports. We know what's wrong with you. I said, isn't that something called spinal cord injury or something like that? I said, yeah, that's what it's called. But you don't have spinal cord injury. What you have is your discs have shifted. That your spine, it thinks it's straight, but it's actually doing this left to right, like a snake all the way up. I said, how's that impossible? They said, because your 7th and 8th vertebrae is shattered. So it's got a hairline fracture all the way down, every single vertebrae.
Man.
I said, nah, that can't be true. You guys got the wrong chart. They said, okay, you want us to read your chart to you? I said, go ahead. Okay, your accident was in July of 2001. You were in a car accident. You were brought to UMDNJ hospital. You were brought to the hospital with a half a pint of blood. You've had 16 operations with no blood transfusions. And on top of that, you have a half a lung. Your left lung is at a half state because it's not inflating anymore all the way. Your liver has been damaged. Your pancreas is damaged. Your lower extremities are not lining up right now, hence the reason why you're in a wheelchair and why you won't ever walk no more. Shall we go any further? Bawling. Nothing but tears. I said, this cannot be happening. This is some bullshit. I said, it can't be. This can't be. They're like, nope. It's here. It's medically proven. The fact that you are alive with no blood transfusion is even more of a miracle itself. Somebody doesn't want you to leave this planet yet. That's what she told me. She said, God has another
plan for you.
Another plan for you. And I was like, this is one fucked up plan. I gotta tell you. And she laughed, she chuckled. She said, but isn't it better to be alive? I said, with this state, I don't think so. How am I supposed to function? What am I supposed to do? She said, that's why you're here. But okay. Unfortunately, I did not stay there long. Because at 2 o'clock in the morning, they had found me at the front of the hospital. No, my mistake. They found me at the rehabilitation center. In front of the house, in front of the rehabilitation center. I sat on the side of the highway. They found me at 2 o'clock in the morning in my wheelchair, sitting there. And I'm just going like this. So the very next day, they sent a psychiatrist to talk to me, and then two of them to evaluate me. They sat in front of me and said, Mr. Garcia, we need to talk. I said, you can talk. I can listen. But if you want me to respond, be ready to what I'm going to say. I'm not going to be nice about it because I'm very angry. They said, okay, why were you sitting on this in front of the rehabilitation center at 2 o'clock in the morning, but your head was going from left to right? Are you feeling suicidal? Are you feeling uncomfortable? What can we do to make things better for you? I said, okay. I said, the first thing we got to understand is this. Just because you saw me going like this doesn't mean I was suicidal.
Correct.
And if you really want to know what I was doing, I'm going to tell you. I said, please do, so we can get you the right medication if you need any, or get you the right help, get you somebody to talk to ease the pain that you're going through. I said, okay. Ease the pain, I think you guys can really do it with a real simple fact. But before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you what I was doing. So what were you doing? I was counting the cars at 2 o'clock in the morning on this road because I rode or drove down this road before. And I know during the day it's very busy. Yeah. So I wanted to see at night at 2 o'clock in the morning how unbusy it was so I could take my wheelchair, roll down the road to the U-turn to roll my ass right back home. They sat there and they looked at us and said, what? Are you serious? I said, I'm very serious. Because if I tie a white blanket to the back of my wheelchair and I'm rolling myself down the road, the cars with the headlights gonna see the damn blanket. They're gonna do the same thing you thinking. I'm a crazy son of a bitch, and they're gonna get out of my way. I'm gonna get to the bottom, U-turn and take my ass home. Because I don't want to be here anymore. They're like, no, but you can't do that. I said, what do you mean I can't? How are you gonna tell me I can't? I'm alive. I know what's going on right now. I don't want to get home. I don't want to be here no more. No, but you got to get better. I said, that will make me better. Now, you asked me before what you can do to help things better. Okay, here you go. Get my ass on the bus and take me home. Jay, but you got nobody at home to take care of you. I said, I don't give a shit. Did you not hear what I said? I'm on the side of the highway counting cars to take my ass, wheel my ass home. Do you know how far you live? You don't even have a home to go to. I said, it doesn't matter. I'll find somebody to let me stay with them. I got a couple of friends I can stay with. But how you gonna get there? I said, I will wheelchair my ass over there. Didn't you not hear that part? and for 2 months straight, they sent 2 psychiatrists in to talk with me every single day.
Man.
They classified me as really being unstable.
Yeah. Wow.
The fact of the matter is, it's true. I was actually talking about wheelchairing my ass back home. My lawyer, his name was Ibrahim. Ibrahim came back 2 months later and said, Jay, what the hell's wrong with you? I said, Ibrahim, I don't want to be here anymore. He was an Arab brother too, Arab lawyer from New York City. He said, Jay, you got to get better. I said, that's how I'm going to get better. He says, no, see, now they go, what they decided was they took the chair away from you. So you're not even able to wheelchair. Anytime you want to go somewhere, they have to come get you. I said, I don't care. As long as they take me home. But Jay, you got no home to go to. I said, well, find me one. I said, find me a home. He said, okay. That's what he said. I'll find you one. I said, I'm going to fix this one. They took my chair away. No problem. Nurse came at 3 o'clock in the morning to come get my meds. She looked in the room. She said, where the hell is this man at? I was in, now, if anybody remembers or anybody knows, they got this real fancy, nice, comfortable chair in every freaking room that almost all hospitals have. It's very heavy. I was in the chair, dragging my ass down the hall. You good? Stay over there. Not yet. We'll be doing soon. Over there. Go. And they said, Jane, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to get out the hospital. They said, but you gotta be here. I said, y'all took my chair away, you took the wheels away, so I'm gonna drag this one down the hall for me. And I'm surprised I didn't hear it. They said, well, we didn't hear it. That's because I had the blankets. Look, the blankets are at the bottom of the chair, so you don't hear the scraping noise.
Okay.
Jay, you can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. I got upper strength. I can do it.
Watch me. Exactly.
I was determined. Then my lawyer sends me a sports medicine doctor. Hey, cut it out. You can't be doing that right now because you're going to disturb me. Thank you. The sports medicine doctor said to me, Jay, don't listen to these doctors. Don't take any more medication. Do what your body tells you to do. Your body tells you not to do it, listen to your body. Your body knows better than anything.
Because they've already told you you're not going to walk again.
Exactly. So I was determined. Now, I'm going to give you a brief description. And please understand it's going to be graphic. So I apologize if it hurts. If you just imagine two pieces of glass that are sheared apart, but they mesh perfectly together. That's the way both my femurs were going into each other like that. Because both my femurs were broken and they were shattered. I have rods, pins, and plates from my hip to my ankles just to try to stabilize everything. When I stood up that first time to try to walk, woo! It felt like somebody was pulling my balls right through my butthole. Very painful.
Ooh.
Very painful.
Ooh.
And I cried. I cried in pain, and I cried in pain.
Ooh.
But I was pushing. Did that for a month and a half. When they brought me the cane the very first time, first they brought me the crutches, of course. The crutches didn't help me not one bit because I was leaning on them, so I caused the bruise underneath my armpit. So they gave me canes. The canes got so bad they were giving me bruises in the middle of my hand because I was putting so much pressure on them. Then they gave me that walker, and I threw that shit right out the room because I said, I got 4. I don't want to see nothing with 4 on it no more. So they brought me the cane. They brought me a cane that had 4 feet, and I liked it very much. It gave me a lot of stability. I asked for another one. They brought me the other one. They caught me every single early morning, late night, walking down the hallway with these 2 canes looking like a giant spider walking down the hallway. Because I was taking the cane and hitting the wall. I was walking down the floor like that. Almost like in, what was that movie? That Spider-Man movie with the, what was it? Octopus? The guy?
Yeah, Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, yeah. When he walked down, he got all his tentacles hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Right? Walking down the hall. And of course, the nurses and everybody, the head nurse and all, they all laughing at me. I said, I'm going to walk out this mother son of a bitch. Y'all told me I couldn't walk. I'm going to walk out this house.
What? For real?
Walk out. Man. Now, back then, the only person that would talk to me was my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law came to the hospital, picked me up. She saw me walking out. All she did was cry. And she took me to my new place. When she took me to my new place, I turned to her and I told her, I said, listen, whenever you want to come by, you can come by. She said, honestly, I can't. Nobody's going to like me talking to you. But I did this because I still always love you. I said, all right, cool, no problem. Now, this part of my journey, I really ask all of you to understand why I do not like handouts. I do not like people that prefer handouts. I do not like the term I got you. And I don't like backstabbers. And I don't like people who make believe that they're your best friends when they're really not. And I will judge you accordingly. So if you don't like what I'm saying, change the channel and move on. If you don't like it, too bad. Now, during that time, my lawyer got me a real good amount of money for what happened. Of course, he got me a place to stay. The superintendent of that building and I became very close friends, him and his wife. To the point that I trusted them so well that I gave them access to my money. Now, we're not talking about a small hunk of chunk of money. We're talking about a nice sized chunk of money.
Okay.
And I gave her, the wife, my bank card, PIN number, account number, security codes, the whole shebang. Now again, fast forward, of course, to this modern age, most people won't do that. So you gotta be out your mind. But during this time, of course, I did. This was back in 2002, matter of fact. Now, the reason why, again, like I said, I'm jumping around is because I want you guys to understand the journey of my life and why it is the way it is.
Correct.
So this girl, cool person, her husband was a pothead, liked to smoke a lot of marijuana. She had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. She's a beautiful person at the time. Like I said, everybody tends to show their true colors at the end, and hence the reason why I judge people accordingly the way I judge them. I don't care. I really don't right now in my life. She would go to the supermarket for me because, of course, I was what they called immobile because I couldn't put any weight on my legs.
Yeah.
So she would go to the supermarket. She'd do my grocery shopping. I'll give her my bank card and I tell her, go get yourself $50, bring me $100, buy my groceries. That's it. So this went on for, let's say, about a good 8-10 months. Right? 10 months later, somebody came up to me and says, yo, how can you allow that girl to be accessing your money? It's because I trust her. It takes a lot for me to trust somebody. Not many people in my life I can trust. Now, what was the reason why I trusted her? So to this day, I do not know. But I trust her. She would come back, give me my money. She'll show me her money, and she'll show me the receipt of how much she took. And I never called the bank to verify if any of the money's been missing. Never have I called the bank to verify anything. That's how much trust I have now. A couple of years later, I got better, of course. Started walking more. Started being on my own a little bit more. And of course, the story that I told you about the Hummer, that's in 2002.
Yeah.
A whole lot better. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go buy me a vehicle. I went and did that, bought the Hummer, bought another vehicle at the time, of course. And of course, again, this is when I said, if I would have thought about what I should have done back then, I'd probably be in a better situation now. But of course, like I said, all of us do stupid things. This girl and her husband turned around and said to me, Jay, we really need a favor. I said, what was that? They said, and she asked me, not even the husband. This is why I say we males, because very few of us can call ourselves men anymore.
Correct.
We males fail to understand why a woman is so powerful. It's almost like the conversation you and I had the other day. A woman should never be undermined. Never.
Correct.
Because when you least expect it, that woman's gonna get you. Okay. What I learned was that this woman stood up to me and said, listen, I really need for you to give me some money so I can move my whole family down to Florida. I said, does your husband know that you're asking me this? She goes, yeah, he's the one that asked me to ask you. I said, are we
Wait a
talking about
minute. Wait a
Johan,
minute.
your husband? She said, yeah, Johan doesn't have the balls to ask you. I said, we're still talking about Johan, the one that we play dominoes every Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
We break bread, he smokes, I drink. Because I had a rule back then. I said, if you come to my house, you got to come with a bottle of liquor.
Yeah.
Brown liquor. Yeah.
Brown.
I'll cook, but you got to bring brown liquor. So everybody brought a bottle of brown liquor to me. All right, cool. And everybody was smoking. I wouldn't touch a damn liquor spit of anybody. But they smoked. We all had a good time. And I asked her, I said, why doesn't your husband come to me? She said, he's embarrassed. How can your husband be embarrassed to come ask me?
Yeah.
We're not asking for a little bit of money. We're asking for a large sum. How large are we talking? She goes, we're going to need at least 15 grand. Ooh. I said, 15 grand, that's a big number. And it's a precise number. Why 15? She said, Jay, because the apartment that we're going to get to, I need $4,000 to get the apartment. I need $1,200 for the truck for the U-Haul.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it is to hold me over until I find a job, and because his father's going to give him a job. Now, you know, or you might know, the old saying is a village takes care of each other.
Correct.
When somebody looks out for you, you look out for them. When somebody takes care of you, you take care of them. That's the old saying, right? So what was it that I had to do? I had to take care of her. But she took care of me. So I gave her the 15 grand. Without a blink of an eye in this term.
Yeah.
Went to the bank, gave it to her. She said, Jay, I'll do whatever I got to do to pay you back. I said, no. I don't want you to pay me back. Look at it as a gift. Okay? But I want you to do right. I want your kids to grow up right, and I want you to be happy because you made my life happy. You helped me. I'm helping you.
Okay, and
now, understand, I do not see your husband the same way as I saw him before. So if I don't invite him upstairs to play dominoes anymore, I don't talk to him, I don't say hi to him, I don't share a word with him, please don't get offended. It's the way it is. So she said, you know what, Jay, I understand. One day we crossed paths in the same building, because again, they're the superintendent. He's mopping the floor. I came out and I walked right past him. He said, yo, what the fuck? You're not gonna say hi to me? I said, what the fuck? I said, do you not know who you talking to right now? The same person you can talk to? Now you want to talk to me? Bro, I got no words for you. I got no words for you. The reason why I call you bro is because that's the only language you understand. But in actuality, Johan, you don't know who I am. Just because you saw me broken doesn't mean you can try to step on me.
Correct.
I did your wife a favor. I ain't doing
Don't
you
get
a
it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
Exactly. I did your kids a favor. I did your wife a favor. Where your balls at? That your wife had to come to me and ask me for money to take care of her and the kids and bring your stupid ass with them. And I never laid a hand on your wife, just for the record. If you think I have. Your wife's not my type. So he just looked at me. I wasn't gonna say that. Even if you thought about it, I'm gonna get it out your head right now. Just be grateful that someone looked out for you and your family. 2 months later, they moved. Worst part about that whole story is this. They moved down to Florida. His father didn't give him a job. They were about to lose their apartment. Who do you think she called?
You.
Hey, sorry to bother you, but I'm in a real tight situation. We're about to lose the apartment. We got no money. I said, look, I understand the concept of helping. And then, of course, the point of abusing someone's help.
Yeah.
Your husband is strong enough to lift the damn garbage can and wash somebody's car. So he can make some money. You, on the other hand, because you want to be home with the kids, I give you kind of a benefit of the doubt, but I'm not giving you no more money. Listen, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I cannot give you no more money. I can't. It ain't happening because now it's more of not the fact that I'm helping you, it's you looking for your handout.
Yep.
And no.
Then it's gonna be me enabling you.
Exactly. And the fact she's got a husband. That's a lot.
That's just talking about enabling her as a woman, but that's not even, we're not even getting what's that doing to him.
Exactly.
We don't even, that's a whole nother
ball game.
Yeah.
So what happens there is now she starts calling everybody we knew. Oh, Jay don't want to help me. Jay wrong. Jay this, Jay that. Now everybody in the block is coming. Of course, so they see me with this big fancy truck. They know I just bought a grocery store. And like, yo, Jay, how can you do that? You're supposed to be looking out for her. She did all that for you. I said, and who the fuck gave her the money? Did y'all forget how she got her fucking ass to Florida? Yeah. Her kids and her husband? I said, did y'all forget who I paid to drive the truck to get down there? They're like, oh, but you know she needs it. I said, and who the fuck am I now? I'm the golden goose that she's gonna keep taking from?
Correct.
I got a business to run. I got shit that I gotta take care of. Oh, but you know, you got it. What does that mean? Even as I have it, I'm not gonna give this to anybody. I gave her when she needed it. She don't need it now.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, in 2000, I think it was 2004, 2005 maybe, his mother came into my grocery store. She said, oh, did you see my son? What do you mean? What do you mean your son? She said, Johan's back in town. I'm so happy. You do know Johan owes me about $5,000, right? She goes, well, he told me he paid you already. How can he pay me? He's supposed to be living in Florida, working with your ex-husband. She said, oh, but he said he was working, laying floors and making a whole lot of money. I said, how was he making a whole lot of money when I gave your daughter-in-law $15,000?
Oui.
She said, you gave them what? I said, yeah.
Oui.
Your daughter-in-law, your son, has been living on my nickel in Florida.
Where she thought they got the money from?
She thought that her ex-husband gave them the money because he had a business down there.
Ex-husband. So the daughter told her that specific, knowing she wasn't gonna go revisit that road. That's somebody who she wouldn't go and invalidated it too.
Yep. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because this leads to why I don't like handouts. I don't like people who are always taking. I don't care if it's the smallest thing. If you don't border something that you're asking for, I got no respect for you. It's hard for me. It's hard.
Yeah.
That's a point of me that's very hard to get rid of. And trust me, it's hard, right? So fast forward now, a couple of years later, I decided to sell my business. After a lot of things that I've gone through, I decided to sell. And I did a lot of things. I gave the community. We had a couple of black guys. I gave away food like there's no tomorrow, because again, I believed in that village thing. Everybody you give to someone else. You take care of the other people, regardless of who they are. So I started that, and I started looking out for people, and I realized that the more I kept handing out to people, the less I kept getting back. And of course, my selfish side started saying, that's fucked up that these people don't even look out for me. That's my selfish side. Now, of course, the righteous side should be like, think of it as a blessing. You're blessing someone else, right?
The two-headed sword.
Right. I couldn't see that side. It took me a long while to realize that side. That's the reason why I said that I didn't realize what it's like to be righteous until I was 35. Now one would say, why 35? Because my monkey hind part loves motorcycles. And because I love motorcycles is what got me into my most difficult situation in life. Now, hold on, let me can you shoot that one up there?
That's the Hummer?
Yep. It's
Damn.
distorted because it's a small picture.
Huh?
Now,
Oh goddamn! There goes the infamous.
you know how people say you gotta fake the funk sometimes, fake it till you make it. I
Yes,
tried
sir.
faking it. I tried faking it real hard, man. I did. And a lot of people say, well, why you do that? Why you gotta, outshine or show people what you had? I said, because I bring facts to the table of what I was, what troubles I gone through, and what put me where I am now. Right? And this is why people don't understand. And bear with me just a moment while I show these pictures.
Go ahead.
This is what's going to lead up to what I'm going to talk about. Now, on this vest, it says "Ruthless Vato," because I was a ruthless vato when I was riding motorcycles. I didn't give a shit about nobody. Right? Now, as I show this one here.
Smooth.
Bear with me for a moment. Bear with me.
You good? You good?
This is all leading up to why I am the way I am and what I'm saying. Moving on.
Ha. Smooth and clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle. Yes. Yes.
We see, ladies and gentlemen, we see a smile. Ladies and gentlemen, we see a smile.
A big one at that.
Yes, sir.
A big one. It looked like it was having a little hard time there. Okay, let's try this one again. As I mentioned, they all have a purpose to what we're talking about here. I don't think that one's gonna make it. Do it one more time. All right, no problem. We're gonna take that one out. I got 3 more just to show you. I promise. This is gonna 3 more.
Cool.
This one here.
Hold on, wait. So let me guess. What's going on here? Just tell me what's going on here.
Okay. Well, this guy, I don't know if you can see my cursor. All right, let's work from the guy in the brown suit all the way across, right?
Okay.
So the guy in the brown suit, his name is Jerome. Right? Jerome became my personal driver. He wanted to drive me everywhere because I was getting into the entertainment business. Right? So of course, next to Jerome is me in the burgundy suit.
Mm-hmm.
Next to me in the New Jersey Devil hat, that kid's name was Eduardo. He was an up-and-coming rapper. Right? Now, the guy here that looks and sounds just like Tupac was Tupac's double.
What do you mean?
He's Tupac standing in movies, videos, talk shows. He stood in for Tupac when Tupac was not able to attend. And of course, this guy here on the far end, his name is Mr. Sanders. He was a politician or an up-and-coming politician. Now, the reason of this photo here, I want you just to remember that photo for just one quick moment. And where is it? This one. Come on, please go up. Please go up. Come on, perfect.
Got him.
Now, this guy was or probably is an upcoming artist, I want to say artist in the form of art. He likes to draw. She also was into drawing. The little girl on the right, on the far side. The woman smiling with the curly hair. She's a doctor in psychology. Right? Now, the reason why I shared those photos is to come with why or how I've become where I am now. Now, remember, as I said, I don't like handouts. I don't like people forever asking and never bartering. I don't like people that take other people for granted and abuse their kindness. I don't like it. I'm not even gonna stomach it. So at one time I had mentioned to a lot of people that I'm a career student. Now, the reason why I showed you all those pictures and the journey that I had and the people that I've met is because of what I am going to talk to you about right this moment. The one thing that many people will not believe is that A, the person you're talking to, the person you're listening to, not only has had a horrible past, also has had a very, very struggling time in life. There was a time that I was homeless. What I mean by homeless, I'm not talking about, oh, you just not able to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no roof over the head, no place to shit, piss, take a bath, shower, wash clothes, change clothes. That style of homeless. Nobody to ask for help.
Yeah.
Why? Because I was ashamed. I had hit literally the bottom of the barrel. I know what it's like to dumpster dive for food. I know what it's like to steal to eat. I know what it's like to sleep on a roof, sleep in a hallway, sleep on a fire escape, sleep between cardboards, dumpsters,
Homeless.
Homeless. To the point of saying, even asking someone to just step in their house to take a shower at least once every 2 weeks, because I couldn't just deal with the funk. Even that person was able to allow me to take a shower a couple of times. Once a couple of weeks. That even one time they found me sleeping inside their house at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they were angry. Let me tell you, they were angry. And even as they were angry, they said, you know what? We understand, but just don't let it happen again. I said, all right, cool. I said, but rest assured to know that when I get on my feet again, you're going to be the first person I'm going to come and look out for, because you allowed me to at least shower. They said, listen, we understand that you go through some hard times, but that's something that's unacceptable. And I said, I understand that, and I still respect that. But that's a hard time in my life that many people will not really understand. So fast forward, after I got out of that rut, I went and I got myself in a homeless shelter.
Okay.
Right? As I got myself in a homeless shelter, I asked the person, how can I make myself better? They said, well, Jay, you got to understand, you got to start asking for help. And of course, we understand that as males, many of us do not like using the word help. Oh, I ain't getting help. I'll figure it out. There's not a third. No. We need to start asking for help. We need to start setting our pride aside, start setting our egos aside, and get the help that we need. Because in actuality, we're human beings. We still need the help.
Correct.
When I realized that was when I was sitting down at 3 o'clock in the morning, eating out of a used container of a Chinese restaurant that somebody had left some Chinese food in. Cold as shit. Even though it's the middle of summer, but the food was cold as shit. And I was eating it. And I was like, damn, I do need the help. And I'll never forget how the store, there was one grocery store that I used to take their bread. They used to deliver bread and leave it in the front door in front of the gate. I used to go and snatch up the bread so that I can eat bread. I would snatch up 3 newspapers on Sundays so that I can have something to read and something to lay on.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, if anybody knows, I'm probably sure it happens down by you. In the summertime, they have summer school programs where they have kids come in the parks. And when they come in the parks, they come with these large brown boxes filled with food. I used to wait till they actually started leaving the park, and I used to snatch up the boxes. And I'll take all my clothes out, my book bag, throw my clothes out, and stuff it with food so I can eat. Okay. So the reason why I talk about this part of my journey is because I want people to understand that when you hit rock bottom, you would do whatever the hell you got to do to survive.
Yes.
Right? Now, a lot of people see me now this day like, damn, Jay got it good. Jay got a wife who cares about him. He got a business. He's successful. His dad. But y'all just heard, and you're still going to hear some more about what struggle I have gone through to where I am. Okay? So as I was at the homeless shelter, the guy said, listen, why don't you go over to the welfare center and see if they can give you some benefits or something to help you out.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if I can do that, man. I don't know if I can stoop that low. I said, nigga, you were homeless. You were eating out of the dumpster. How much fucking lower can you get? I sat back, I looked at him, I said, man, you got to break a brother down even further?
Yeah.
He said, how much further can you go?
For real.
Ready? Not once, but twice. How further can you go?
For real.
I was like, still, you don't understand. I said, bro, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You died on your motorcycle. You died in a car accident. Yeah, I'm a motorcycle. I had a bad accident. They declared me dead because they airlifted me off the ground and said I was dead in mid-flight. You were dead twice legally. You were homeless, eating out of garbage cans, and you telling me you can't go over to the welfare center and ask them for help? I said, I ain't got no paperwork. I got no identification. I got no social security card. I got no nothing. How can I show who I am? Just my name, my face? Hell, they ain't gonna believe it. My name is Josie Garcia. They gonna say, who you think you bullshit, nigga?
Yeah.
You black as a black.
Yeah.
What you use that Puerto Rican name for? Right? So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He said, just go over there and try. All right. So what I did, I took my monkey ass over there, stood on the line for 4 hours in the rain, just to find out how. Even though in the back of my mind, like, they ain't gonna do shit for me. Get inside the building. They asked me what I was there for. I said, listen, I'm homeless. I'm staying at the shelter. And this is the person's name, and I need some help. Girl looked at me up and down. She said, you're a big dude. I was weighing, at that time, I was like 275, muscular, not fat like I am now with a big old belly. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to keep stealing. I don't want to keep robbing people. I don't want to keep doing those dumb things. I don't want to wind up back in jail again. She looked at me. She says, but you can wash cars. I said, well, what soap? I'm supposed to steal the soap, get in trouble with the store owner because I stole some soap to wash somebody's car?
Yeah.
To get locked up on some stupid shit like that? She says, so what you want from us? I said, you know what? Forget it. I don't care. Turned around. Started walking towards the door. As I got to the door, this guy stood there and went like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him, I says, I don't know who you're looking at like that, but I'm sorry to be in your way. He goes, Robo? I said, what you call me? He said, you Robo. I said, only a few people knew my nickname.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh my gosh. Now, mind you, I don't look as clean as I am now. My hair was nappy as shit.
Yeah.
Beard out here looking
rough.
Just like, yeah. And he said, I know that's you. I worked with a company when I was a kid growing up. Matter of fact, not as a kid, but growing up, I was young still then. 2001, 1999, from 1987 to 2002, off and on. I kept working with this company as a valet. In 2002, I worked with them full time, and they knew about my situation. They gave me the nickname RoboCop because I was all metal, and I was standing in the middle of the street directing traffic without a care in the world. So they gave me the nickname RoboCop. So I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna stick with that name. So that guy's name, I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Garcia. And I said, G, you really G? And your brother, your twin brother? He's like, yeah, man. What you doing here? I said, well, I'm homeless. And they told me to come here and try to get some assistance. But the girl over there said, I can't get nothing. I got no ID. I got nothing. He said, come with me. I'm gonna get you what you need. I said, bro, I ain't got no ID. I got no social security card. I got no driver's. I got no identification card. I don't have nothing. He says, come on, I'm gonna take care of you. Now this comes back to how people have to understand. And I'm not getting biblical, and I'm not getting religious on anybody. Yeah. But I want you to understand, the Creator God puts people in your path for reasons. Okay, and you gotta accept that, and you gotta embrace it. You got to. No matter how much you don't want to, but you gotta embrace it. He took me into his office. He was the supervisor of the program. And he said, Jay, this is what we're gonna do. He said, matter of fact, Robo, my bad. He said, Robo, this is what we're gonna do. Take this piece of paper, and I want you to go over to the DMV. At the DMV, they're gonna give you an ID card. After you get your ID card, I want you to go back to the homeless shelter and tell the person in charge of the homeless shelter to sign off on a receipt that we're going to pay for your room and board for the next 6 months. I said, what? He said, for you to be in your own room, because I know that you're sharing a room with a bunch of people, and that's just like being in jail. But I want you in your own room. I said, gee, you can't be doing that for me. I mean, granted, we knew each other back then, but now it's a different time. He says, no, this is what I'm supposed to do for you, and this is what we're gonna do. And of course, I didn't know what to say. I really did. So I just hugged him. As stinky as I was, I hugged him. And I said to him, I said, bro, you don't know how this makes me feel. He says, bro, I don't care how you stink. I said, we did a lot of things together. You made me money back in the day. We made money together. It's the only right thing for me to do. And I said, all right, cool. So I went to DMV, got my ID. They signed off on it. They gave me an identification card without no social security number. No social security, because he actually gave me a letter to show them that I was on the system. So they gave me my ID. Went to the Social Security office. They gave me my Social Security card a couple of weeks later, sent it in the mail. The man at the homeless shelter gave me the letter saying that they were going to cover it. Then I took everything back to him. 6 months. All this transition in 6 months. He said, Jay, or rather, Robo, this is what we're going to do. I want you to go to school. I want you to go right up the road and sign up for any class. I don't care what it is. Sign up for the class. After you sign up for the class, come back to me with the paperwork. We're going to pay for you. I'm going to make sure you get the money to pay for your classes. I said, what are you talking about? That's way too much. No, this is what we're going to do, because I'm going to make sure you get everything that you need. So I said, you serious? He said, yeah. The next week, I get brought back the paperwork. He gave me 3 pieces of paper. The first paper was the voucher showing how much I was going to pay. They were going to pay for my room and board. The next paper was how much money I was going to get for myself to get myself back on board to where I needed to be. The third paper was the food stamps. The fourth piece of paper was the certification showing that I'm in school and they're going to pay for my schooling. What I did then?
Wow.
I ran to the races. When I tell you I ran to the races, I ran to the races. Why I did that? Because I knew that right then and then I had to stop making myself better. I had to make myself the way I wanted and needed to be. So I went to school. As I'm going to school, I found a job, got off of the welfare, got off of the food stamps, got myself out of the homeless shelter, got myself a room someplace else, went back to school again, studied something else, went back to culinary school to further my culinary career because everybody always wants to cook to work in a restaurant. Got myself a better job at a restaurant, went back to school again for psychology, went back to school again for to get my bachelor's in psychology, went back to school to learn criminal law, went back to school to learn about real estate. And everybody who saw me and met me said the same thing. Said, how the hell did you get from where you are to where you are now? So all those pictures that I just showed you with all those people was after I was homeless.
Wow.
To say to those that are listening, if you put your mind to it, you are never held back as long as you do what you have to do to become A, successful, or B, self-sustained. Now, you want to put religion in it? Fine. Put religion in it. It was the path that God, the Creator, had given me because He punished me. Or as I like to say, she punished me. Because in essence, I was punished. Just like, for example, one of the things I remember most is one of the books I read, the book of Job. Is it not in the book of Job saying that he took everything from him because he didn't believe in him? He said, the moment you stop believing in me, I'm going to give you everything back tenfold. May not be the same thing, but I'm going to give you what you need tenfold. That book, I want to say, replicates me. Because I had everything. I thought I had everything. I thought that I was the biggest shit on the block.
Yeah.
Jacob jewelry, wearing $20,000 gold chains and iced out left and right. 40-inch, 22-inch rims on trucks. Getting trucks that no one else could afford. Jumping on a plane whenever I wanted to go somewhere. No reservations. What the hell do you mean reservation? I'm just go over there and go wherever I want to go.
Yep.
But all that was taken away from me, lickety split. And I was shown that I had to actually be accountable for all the dumb shit I've done.
Chastisement.
Absolutely. Now we fast forward. That's the reason why I said 35. Because at 35, and I challenged it. Corporate came back. They sent the letter to the GM. Within a week, I was terminated because I got corporate involved. Was I happy? Absolutely.
And
why? Because they made a mistake by letting me learn everything about them from the inside. So now,
the intel.
Exactly. So now you just created a monster. Call it what you may. I know my wife has another term for it, which I'm sure she's going to tell me in about 30 seconds because she's listening. And we hit it off real well. To the point where it was almost like childhood love. You're on the phone for 10, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You hang up first. No, you do. No, you hang up first. No,
yeah,
you. I'm gonna sit here real quiet.
It.
Hang up. Right? It was just like that. Now we're doing this online. Okay. And we was doing it through a video channel that was called Uvu back in the day. OOVOO. That's how old it was, right?
Man.